Hey there, little buddy. I got your favorite raw meat and toenails. Oh, shit. Honey. Well, maybe I could have afforded to have honey if someone didn't ask for 3 sacrifices last week, Now the police are on my tail and... I gotta go. But don't make any noise. I'll be right back, okay? Maybe I'll get some extra meat.
We all have our holes to feed, some more than others. But the hole I'm going to be talking about today is a new indie horror roguelike demo. I'm talking about WINNIES-HOLE.
He makes decisions best he can. Sometimes he needs a helping hand. Or 2 or 3.
The clap of my ass cheeks alerted the bees.
Now I know what you're thinking with a name like that.
I'm gonna give you a chance to explain what the fuck is WINNIES-HOLE.
WINNIES-HOLE is a roguelike horror game, if you want to watch me play it.
No, that's fine.
It's not that. It's actually a very cool roguelike game where you get to play as the virus that infects Winnie the Pooh's body. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple years ago, Winnie the Pooh entered public domain. And with that, a lot of not good stuff entered the sphere. Most notably, the Winnie the Pooh horror movie, Blood and Honey. And, okay, before I start doing the whole thing about the game that's super cool, all right, don't click off, I do have a couple of gripes with this. Most notably, the Winnie the Pooh horror movie, Blood and Honey. Now, let me just say, I have lots of things to say about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I won't get into it all the way here. If you want me to make a thing about that, leave it down below if it's going to be interesting. But I will get into the little quickly what bothers me about it. Now, I will, but that's where I have to cut it off because I could literally go on for hours with this. Let's get back to the game you came here to see. Now, unlike the movie, WINNIES-HOLE actually does a lot of cool things with the vaguely representative IP that they're using. They introduced a bunch of new custom characters that I think are pretty cool. This priest badger guy, I think, is pretty awesome. The new, like, weird plague doctor character, pretty cool. I'm getting kind of like Cult of the Lamb / Winnie the Pooh vibes, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, they had me hook, line, and sinker, especially with the trailer. The narrator,
We must learn to be the monster that's inside of me.
pops off king. Whoever they hired to do that, damn. And I just love like the childhood ruined aspect of it. It's very, like I said before, I love the trope of cute things being turned into like bloody monsters. And I love that trope to death. So when I found this game, I was absolutely hooked. So let's go over my experience. Damn, these drawings are fucking terrible. What is that even supposed to be? Now this is going to be broken up into 3 separate parts. We got gameplay, story, and thoughts. So let's start out with gameplay. Now, to start you off, gameplay-wise, pretty simple, but it's still a little hard to grasp when you first get started. All right, first, you're going to pick a class. They only have 3 to choose from so far, but it looks like they're planning on adding a lot more. So you pick a class from either, I think it's like the Berserker, the lifesteal thing, and the hunter. I personally prefer the lifesteal guy and the hunter over the other one. But anyway, you pick a class, it gives you a permanent special trait that usually affects all of your moves or something, and then you get to playing. You start out with 3 virus blocks, and you start out in the overworld where you can build a path to get a different event. Basically, you can go from mutating yourself to getting an extra block to going to the shop or getting different traits for your abilities, and along the way you can get max health, heal yourself, get these bacteria things that help you get extra and better perks, and then you can also get money and stuff. Now that's pretty simple. But the cool thing is that the virus blocks aren't just used for exploration. Every time at the end of your exploration event, you go into a combat event where you get to fight the townspeople of the 100-acre wood. Now, killing these people gives you obviously more virus points to get better perks and evolve your virus so you can kill more innocents. But basically, you have a brain that you shuffle the different moves you have mutated into you in your brain deck, or whatever you want to call it, and they get placed on the board. You use your virus blocks that I was talking about earlier to place it into the brain to do those actions. And you can get pretty creative with it. I did a build recently where I went full spikes, which spikes basically, if you get attacked, the enemy also takes damage. So all I did was make spikes an instant, which makes them automatically be taken so I don't have to waste a block trying to use it, and then just fortify myself as much as possible so that they'll kill themselves on attacking me. But there's a lot more stuff you can do with it. I was on their Discord for a second, and there's a ton of people posting builds and stuff that they're finding out, and it's pretty cool. And another cool part is, like, visually you can see your build come to life as the mutations on your bear get more grotesque and like wider, and I just think that's a really cool feature. I really do hope that in the future they make it a little less janky, because sometimes the mutations kind of like spawn like weirdly like on like nothing, but it is a demo, okay? So I will forgive a lot of this stuff because, you know, it's not finished. It's literally just a tutorial and an infinite level 1 basically. But no, I would love to see in the future if like you mutate into like crab mouth or something, and like your face actually like gets like stretched out, and they have like special, that would be amazing. But for the rest of the gameplay, you basically keep on going, keep on killing and collecting bacteria points and shit to level up your virus. They do have a cool collection of enemies so far. You have things from like enemies that just do nothing but buff the person in front of them, so that, you know, if you're the hunter class, you can take them out first, or you can use push moves to push people to the back of the queue so those buffs won't go off. You have enemies that get stronger if you attack them on a turn, or get weaker if you attack them on a turn. A lot of cool ideas. The only thing that I really have any problem with whatsoever, gameplay wise, is two things. One, during exploration with the virus blocks and stuff, I don't really see an incentive to get extra virus blocks, because if I'm not mistaken, usually the ones you start out with are pretty good, and the ones you get later on are just like, you know, 3s, 2s, whatever. So they're not super great. Maybe they'll be better when you can upgrade your brain board or whatever to like a bigger stuff, so you can like select things better. But so far, there's really no point to get another virus block. I've never really seen a reason to. Maybe that's because I just don't play like that. Maybe there is a reason to get more. The only reason I can think of is to make your virus exploration path thing, whatever you want to call it. If you have more blocks, you can stay there for longer and get more materials. So that's one benefit to it. But other than that, I kind of found that the extra blocks really fucked me over more than anything. You know, having to wait for my big hitter blocks to come back, and so I had to do 3s that don't really match up with anything that I'm doing, or I get unlucky. So I usually just stuck with like 3 blocks. If I got an extra one, you know, no biggie. I usually went for the like 3L corner shape one. And the other thing I have a problem with, sometimes it doesn't explain it enough of what's actually going on. Like, and this is just like what comes with like demos and stuff. Obviously they sent it out there, it's not fully polished yet, but there are some like descriptions and stuff that could be worded a bit better and have like, you know, better explanations. It just needs to be a tiny bit more clear of like what's going on in general. Don't worry, I figured out most of it if you just take a second and look at what everyone's actually doing. So it's not like it's outrageous or anything. It just like probably some like lines or something, but that's completely fine because most of the time it's completely readable. Just a little bit of readability. But other than that, no, it's pretty fun. I didn't think I was going to like, you know, clock more than, you know, an hour on a demo, but I actually ended up playing it for like about 4 or 5 hours or something like that. It's not like super easy either. I did have some difficulty beating even the first level, just trying to understand the game and all that. And if any of the gameplay in the background looks interesting to you, just go download it, bro. It's free demo. You lose absolutely nothing, and it's pretty cool experience. I also love how like sometimes in combat randomly the enemies will just start talking to you. Like you can just see them be like, we can still be friends. Who's like, we are friends. Like, he has no idea this is going on. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the gameplay pretty well. I mean, obviously demo, but even for a demo, they got a lot of shit going on. I'm pretty sure there's still stuff I haven't seen yet, you know, just exploring the board and all that, but they have like a pretty big collection of perks and stuff that I still want to use and figure out what they do. Like, I don't think I've used poise or adrenaline or any of those kind of buffs yet. And I really just want to like test the limits of what I can do and what I can explore. Oh, fuck. I forgot to mention, okay, future me, put this in. I forgot to mention that once you're out of blocks to place, you will automatically go to the nearest event space. So it kind of incentivizes you to like grab as much as possible. But if you know you're like 1 block away from this thing, then you can just go straight up and get more stuff. Anyway, back to what I was saying. And now that gameplay is out of the way, I can move on to the story. Now, as far as I can tell, what is happening in this game is basically, long story short, this bear, Winnie the Pooh, whoever you want to call him, has been infected by a disease, presumably by this plague doctor guy. We don't really know who he is. We don't really know what's going on with his whole angle here, but what it sounds like is you've been infected with this disease. Whatever this disease does completely nullifies Pooh himself. He basically doesn't know this shit is happening at all, because every time he's ever talked to any of the villagers, he just thinks that they're having fun or they're still friends or whatever, even though he's actively attacking them. So what it looks like is that this plague doctor is making you into a monster, and then you find your way back to him at the end of, like, you know, the demo. And when you do, I assume he like either upgrades you or brings you to another thing and you like become his weapon or whatever. Don't really know, but I'm super invested in this world. There are so many cool like little things that I love. Like, for example, there's one enemy that's just a PNG of some shitty MS Paint drawing. I'm assuming it's some kind of inside joke or something, but I love little things like that. And on top of that, there's this one like doctor character hamster that is supposed to like help heal you or amplify you, and he's been in med school for like 11 years.
9? Oh, this guy dropped out of med school.
And he's like 11th times the charm. I'm gonna get it on the next one. Just the little things like that like, because they didn't go to the route that like Winnie the Pooh's the only monster in this universe, right? Because a lot of things kind of do that, where they like just go, this one thing is a monster, and then he just goes and kills the regular characters. Every character in here is kind of already a monster to a degree. Like the Badger Priest, right? Is you think he's trying to help you, and I honestly thought if you skipped your turn, something different would happen, but I don't think it does. But anyway, he just like freaks out on you because these little hamsters start laughing at him, and you just realize how much of a fucking asshole he actually is. He's also ripped to shit, which is crazy. And I hope they make a ton more characters like that. There's only a handful, you know, for the first area, you know, the hamster, the badger, the plague doctor, and some others sprinkled out through there. But so far I am in love with the world, and I genuinely want to see like all the things that come and happen, and I want to like see the new classes and like what extra shit they put in there, because like I'm just theory crafting here. Like, you could have a class where like your brain board is like spread out into like a checkered pattern, so like those broken up blocks that I was complaining about earlier were actually super valuable to you, because you can fucking dee-doo-doo, and there's just so much you could do with it. I really am super excited to see what they do with this game. But yeah, the story is super simple, super sweet. You don't need much to understand it. Now let's go on to my personal thoughts on the game. Now, I think you already know that I like the game a lot, because I do. But that doesn't mean I don't have my gripes with it, because I also do. For example, I think for a demo, this shit slaps. I fucking love it. For a free demo, this shit is like more than you'd get out of a lot of demos, if I'm being honest. It's like mini Mario mini game. But there are a couple things I can say I would like to see improved. Like, for example, I think for a game that's like its selling point is kind of body horror, right? As I think that a lot of your attack moves and bonuses and stuff should be more represented in your character. Now, a lot of the times when you enter an attack move or a heal move or a shield move, basically what'll happen is your character kind of like jostles a little bit, and then a effect of a color or whatever will go wing, and you'll see it applied to you. Some of the attacks have like special PNGs that appear over characters and just like chomp them or whatever. But I think you should totally, like, you don't have to go crazy, because making a special animation for all of the things it would take a long time. All right. But I am saying that, like, for example, for like tentacles or like, crab claws or whatever, you should definitely have them move with the attack. Like you could just have the tentacle just be like bam and like fucking slap the front guy or whoever you're attacking or whatever. I just feel like lean into the amorphousness of the character. Now early on you don't have to do that because you want to see this slowly build into nothingness, but I definitely do want to see more of like actually mutating the model. You can obviously tell that how they've set it up is that when you pick a mutation or whatever, it kind of just appears on a like front layer on the thing's like general PNG, which is fine. That's a great way to do it. But I want to see like specific combinations. Like if you have 3 spikes or whatever, I want to see like his jaw start like growing spikes, have him tusks and stuff. Or if you have like 3 crab claws, I want to see him like grow, like his eyes start like spiking upwards, like how crabs had those little upward eyes. Just cool things like that. I want to have at the end of my run, when they show you what you look like, I want to see this unrecognizable creature. I want to see the most gross abomination known to man and see how far I've come. I also think it would be pretty cool to have like a footsteps roadmap type thing, like in Legend of Zelda when you can like track where Link has gone. I feel like it would be cool to have like a play-by-play button where you can go back to the beginning and like speed through all of your fucking changes and see how mutated you got in like a quick GIF or something. I feel like that would just be a little cool thing. And like I said previously, because I don't know what they're going to do with the brain board, but I think the incentive to have more brain blocks could be interesting. Like if you had a perk that was like, for every brain block you've placed this round or this set of shuffle or whatever you want to call it, you get more damage or something. I don't know if that already exists. I haven't seen something like that, but that could be a thing. I know there is a perk that for every block that's not captured anything on your board, you heal. That's a really cool idea, and I loved that. But basically, like, I don't know if you can tell, but like I really don't have complaint about this game. I just have like more ideas and maybe they're already doing it, and maybe I'm just like repeating back to them what they're already doing, which I'm sorry, but that's just how like hyped I am for this, because like I was a fan of Plague Inc. back in the day when that came out, and the main thing, my main problem with the game is because playing was super interesting, being like a virus that spread around the world, but it's the visuals that make the game really pop. And I can say that the visuals in the game and the sound effects and the grotesque mutations are where it's at. The art team really hit what kind of style they're going for. And dude, just even like looking at the like overboard for like adventure or like picking the events, like look at how like I'm saying like fucking 14 million times, look at how like cool the layering is, and like how you can like, you're like an x-ray visualizing where you're going. It's such a cool idea. And I don't know who they got to narrate the trailer, but please, if you can, if it's not too expensive or whatever, please get him back and get him narrating like some cutscenes or something. Because right now they have like basically Animal Crossing / like, you know, Undertale effect, but please get the narrator back, please. I want like a Stanley Parable type thing. I think that would be cool, of like the narrator being like I think this would be cool. You can test this out if you want, but I think this would be cool, of like you're attacking and the narrator's like, Pooh really tried, but to no avail. And he took 26 damage doing that. And like stuff like that. There's like, and that probably wasn't the best move. As you take 15 damage to the face or something. Just like, I feel like the narrator would definitely bring like this horror storybook you're living and bring it alive in that way. But the main reason I'm making this video is because I wanted to put all y'all on this game before it gets released. I want to hype up this game so bad because I can see the vision. I can see the potential in this shit. And I just want to say, not sponsored. I literally have no idea who these people are. I've joined their Discord and I've said that I really like their game, but this is just me. I'm not getting paid to say any of this shit. Although I could be, if you want to sponsor me. That it's not like I want to or anything. Oh my fucking god! Could you imagine being like that for like Pepsi or something and be like, It's not like I want you to sponsor me or anything. Or the last thought that I have before I close out this video is I think that you should be able to like change the virus block colors or like your specific virus. I think it would be interesting that to have like if your virus is like more akin to like fungal or like mind control, even though it already technically is, but if it's more, it plays more like a puppeteer type thing, right? Then it should like reflect that in the virus. Like there should be like little mushrooms popping up on it, or like maybe if it's more akin to like zombification or like hemorrhaging, it should be more like goopy and bloody. And then maybe if it's like more like necrosis, then it should be like more ghastly and necrotic and like green and black. But other than that, that's like all my thoughts. I really have high hopes for this game. I hope it becomes awesome, and I think you should wish list it and download the demo and join their Discord and tell them that you want it to be great too. And if the devs somehow find or watch this, you're doing great work. I fucking love Winnie's Hole.